The San Jose Sharks get just embarrassed. Ooh, yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man. That was bad. Uh yeah.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to a live edition of Locked On Sharks, where we cover your team every day. My name is JD Young, and this was atrocious. Um, I, I'm speechless with how poor, how terrible the Sharks played tonight. So we're gonna have a nice therapy session here where we're gonna talk about our feelings, talk about how it will get better at some point, and just try to hang out and have a good time because um that was honestly the worst Sharks game I have ever watched in my life. And um I wasn't really there for the expansion season and all that, but I don't know how you could point to any other game that was worse than what we just saw from the Sharks. So um just absolutely just different levels. It was like watching somebody mentioned it was like watching like World Juniors when it's like Canada versus like the last team to get in, and it's just an absolute just slaughter. That's what it looked like. The Canucks could do basically whatever you want. We'll dig into the stats here in a little bit, and I'll answer some of your questions and stuff here a little bit. But um it's it is just uh again, just absolutely speechless. Poor kid going for their birthday. Why do your parents hate you and bring you to this game on your birthday? um but and again, believe me, I am 1000% the tank commander. And yes, the Sharks are going to lose a bunch of games this year, and yes, the best thing for the team to do is to be bad and get good draft picks. But you still want to like have a reason to tune in, night out. And this was one of those games where if I wasn't doing this podcast, this would have been over after about 10 minutes because the Sharks are not worth watching right now. They're not a watchable product right now. There's some camaraderie of being the worst team in the NHL and having, going to be able to live with these scars. And, you look at like the Colorado Avalanche, right? That season where they had 48 points. And now they get to like laugh about that because the Colorado Avalanche are an amazing franchise now who are one of the, have a Stanley Cup ring and are going to be contending for Stanley Cups for the foreseeable future. This is just going to be that badge that we all wear as, oh God, you guys remember the 23-24 season when the Sharks couldn't score, couldn't do anything, and basically got outplayed night in, night out. So, but as for this game, this is there is nothing to take away from this game. This is a burn the tape. You are literally the worst team in the NHL, and it's laughable at how poor they are at just doing simple things like getting the puck out of the zone, getting the puck from behind their own net. Just things like that you would think professional hockey players would be able to do. And this collection of guys just right now are unable to do anything. And I've already seen they should fire David Quinn or whatever. And it's like, what do you expect David Quinn? What do you expect anyone to do with this team? Like, this team is poorly built on purpose. And basically most of these guys are just here to hold down a spot until younger, better Sharks players are ready to take those spots. And but yeah, like, I'm not saying David Quinn is an excellent coach, or, he seems like a nice guy. Probably not going to be the coach of the future. But like, you could have like Scotty Bowman. You could have whoever back there. You could like combine Bill Belichick and Vince Lombardi and whatever coach, Popovich and whatever coaches you want. You could throw them all back there and it wouldn't matter. Like, the coaching is like not a problem. Yeah, it's, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's back there right now. And let David Quinn get his paychecks, and seems like he's having a okay-ish time. Well, not having a good time tonight, but like, it doesn't matter who's back there. It does, like, it's this season is about what guys can kind of survive this and what guys can show you stuff, and getting the first overall pick and cleaning up cap space and all that stuff, like the long-term goals for the team. It is an absolute, like, it doesn't matter. But you do want to see some better performances than losing 10-1. Like, elite, like last year, right? We had Sharks lost a ton of games. They were the fourth worst team in the NHL, but you had like Erik Karlsson to like actually make you want to tune in night out, because you never knew when Erik Karlsson was going to do something crazy and awesome. And the Sharks just don't have that right now. Like, cool, you might see Mackenzie Blackwood or Capo Kakkonen stand on your head and, save 51 of 52 shots. Or you might see them both basically get just absolutely railroaded tonight, because the team in front of them, again, can't do simple things like get the puck out of the zone or sustain offensive zone pressure or just collect the puck from behind the net. I know those things are difficult, but like, this was an absolute there's just nothing watchable about the Sharks right now. Yes, I still think Eklund is going to be an amazing player, but like, you and I both know, it is tough to be the only guy. And God bless William Eklund. He's still out there trying to do his thing, but it's tough for anybody. So yeah. The Canucks, though, man, I really like the Canucks in the preseason. Talking to the Canucks guys, that team is a very good team, and I would not be surprised if that team makes a bit of a run in the playoffs. They play hard. They're very talented. Like you saw, even when they were up 8-0, right? They're still forechecking, doing like trying to create offense, and that Canucks team is a good team. And yes, it's the Sharks. But that is a good Canucks team, and it seems like that talent is finally coming together. Quinn Hughes is an absolute monster. PD just taking over games. Like, I didn't even feel like PD did much tonight, but he still had like a bajillion points, and he did awesome stuff. He just wasn't like the, oh God, PD is just going to murder us tonight. That is a very good Canucks team, and especially with like the way Edmonton started, the way Seattle started, whatever, like all these other teams, like the Canucks could be a sneaky dark horse team, especially if Thatcher Demko can recapture the form that we've seen from him. But hats off to those guys. Those guys play hard all 60 minutes, even at the end of the game, right? It is 10-0, and they're still trying to get the shutout for Demko. But yeah. Let's dig into some stats here in just 1 second. If you are a business owner and you realize that there are times when receivables might fall behind, that doesn't need to believe that you need to fall behind on vendor payments, payroll, or rent. For more than 25 years, Parkview Advance has helped businesses secure working capital from $5,000 to $1.5 million. Parkview Advance can approve your working capital in as little as 24 hours. It's much easier process than you might imagine. We invite the many entrepreneurs that are Locked On NHL fans to learn more by calling us at 203-675-0071 or go to parkviewadvance.com. If your business needs working capital, call Parkview Advance today. Parkview Advance, helping businesses with their working capital. Go to parkviewadvance.com. All right, the stats. It's funny because like the 5-on-5 stats aren't even like that atrocious. The shot attempts 5-on-5, 50-49 in favor of the Canucks. Corsi was 50.51 to 49.49 in favor of the Canucks. Actual shots at 5-on-5 was 25-35. Scoring chances 13-9 or scoring chances were like shots were 25-25. Scoring chances were 25-23 in favor of the Sharks. High danger chances 13-9. Expected goals for 2.59 to 1.92 in favor of the Sharks. It was just the power play. Like the special teams were just an absolute train wreck for the Sharks. And it started literally a minute into the game where you give up. You have a 4-minute power play, which is a legitimate call. Like Nico Sturm knows better than that. And it was an accident, but like you still need to control your stick. And then the power play for the Canucks just absolutely dominated tonight. The Canucks had 5 power play opportunities. They produced 1.51 expected goals for. They had 4 goals and 5 power play chances tonight, and the just complete collapse by the Sharks on most of those power plays. You know, the Bellevue one, I think the first one where he's just literally by himself. It's a great cross eyes pass, but literally by himself, and the defense just doesn't realize that he's over there. So just yeah, the stats. That's the funny thing. It's just with how you would expect with how lopsided this game was, the stats would look that way. It's not. And the Sharks got a fair amount of high danger chances. Like they got, I know they put some lipstick on the pig there in the third period with their shot attempts. They got 27 shot attempts in the third period while the Canucks were literally just trying to kind of take a knee and run out the game there. But like, it seems bad, man. This team stinks. Looking at the forward line, so the Zetterlund, Hurdle, Duclair played 904. They had 12 shot attempts, gave up 9, 8-5 actual shots, 0.81 expected goals for. Eklund, Granlund, Cunnin played 843, 9-4 shot attempts. Actual shots was 2-4. Didn't give up a goal. Yeah, good for them. 0.56 to 0.17 expected goals for. Zadina, Sturm, LeBanc. Whoa. 555, 4 shot attempts, gave up 12. Actual shots was 2-5, gave up 2 goals as well. 0.02 expected goals for. Carpenter, Sturm, Giovanni Smith, 4 shot attempts, gave up 0. Actual shots was 3-0, excuse me, but their expected goals for was 0.03. So I'm not even going to look at the goalies because the goalies is just, it's not fair to look at them because again, what happened in front of them tonight was just not their fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. So let's start with some of you guys' questions. We'll start the therapy session because again, this is just tough. The stats were bad. So all right, let's see. Tone Frequency asks, I mean, it's a rebuild, the tank is on, etc., but Greer has to do something at some point, right? I mean, what point does it hurt Slippery Pete's development being on this abomination? I mean, tonight was an absolute embarrassment, but like it's the roster's the roster right now. Like, what are you gonna do? Maybe you call up Gushin who can score, but like the roster's the roster, man, and there's no easy fixes right now. There's the roster, it's you're rearranging chairs on the Titanic at some point. So I think with this, it's not going to be 10-1 every night, and I think there needs to be a look at how some of these lines are put together. But it starts with the blue line. The blue line is so bad that it just sinks everything else, right? Like the goaltending has been great so far this season, not tonight notwithstanding. But again, I'm not blaming anything on the goalies tonight. But when the Sharks, they can't even get the puck out of the zone. And then this is something we talked about in the offseason. Like it takes so much work for them to be able to just get the puck out of the zone that the offense, of course, they can't have sustained pressure because they can't get the puck out of the zone. They spend all their energy just trying to get the puck out of the zone. So I'm not worried about Eklund's development. Eklund's been on some bad teams so far. I mean, that Djurgården team that he was on was atrocious. And we saw last year with talent around him, especially at the end of the season before he got called up. Eklund, I'm not worried about Eklund. And you saw it tonight. He kept playing hard. It's not like he was giving up. Like I am not worried about Eklund development with it. So when do we want to be better? We want to be better at some point. Not this season, but they want to be better at some point. And but again, like I said, you want to see like what sticks to the wall, right? What guys show like some promise, and guys like Zetterlund, right, who has started to show some stuff, and especially after last year when it thought like, what do we get? It felt like you got a lemon from the Devils, and you're starting to see like, oh, Zetterlund might be a really attractive piece for you going forward, and he's still super young, right? You want to see these guys get better and do something for the team. So again, please put your therapy session, like I'm probably going to spend the next 10 to 12 minutes answering you guys' therapy questions. So yeah, every team goes through a transition. All stars got old, time to be at the bottom in the draft new stars, right? That is the bet. There's 3 ways to acquire players, right? You can sign them in free agency. You're usually getting guys who are 27 to 30 who are either in their prime or exiting their prime. You can trade for them, which the Sharks have been able to do in the past, or you can draft them, which gives you draft and develop, right? And that gives you the longest term sustainability. Again, look at the New Jersey Devils, look at the Colorado Avalanche. These guys were very bad for a while. They got great players. Yes, not all of those guys were number 1 picks, but the Devils got a couple number 1 picks, and now this team looks like it's going to be a wagon for the foreseeable future, right? The Avalanche, they got lucky with some of their drafts. That's part of the process, is getting lucky. Tanking is part of – it's not the whole – remember, tanking is not the whole rebuild. Tanking is a piece of the rebuild. You still need to draft well. You still need to develop well. You still need to sign the right players around them. Like, that is a part of it. But tanking just puts you in the best position to try to get the best players in the draft, right? And there's still misses, right? Tim Stützle, 2020, right? If you redid the draft, he's the number 1 pick. But Ottawa, they put themselves in a position by trading away their all-star, franchise player. And now look, Ottawa's got a lot of young, bright players. If only they could figure out trades at some point, or figure out if guys had no trade contracts. So somebody still says hi. Sharks fans, when a team actually tanks, shocked Pikachu face. Like I told that we knew this team was going to be bad. Just tonight was just it was an abomination. So, and there's probably going to be more games like this. So my promise to you guys is, when there are more games like this, instead of just doing a normal podcast, we will try to do these because I think it's more fun to just let it all out together. So yeah, Quinn is terrible, probably, but again, it really doesn't matter who you have back there right now. Would I love to see Luke Cunnin not playing on the second line? Yes, because Luke Cunnin is not a second line player. But you don't have Couture, you don't have Barabanov. Like, I would love to see Zadina up there, but Zadina hasn't really played that well recently. Like, what are you gonna do? It's basically Luke Cunnin is this year's Matt Nieto. Like, he's playing way above what he's supposed to do, and that's just what it is right now. So we'll continue we'll continue the therapy session here in just 1 second. But you guys know, mental health, especially with what we're going through right now, mental health is very, very huge. It's very big to me. This episode is brought to you guys by Better Health. Better Health is a great way to try to figure out what, like if you're having trouble with things like maybe you're not feeling yourself, maybe you're kind of battling some issues, and you're just maybe not kind of figuring things out, not feeling like yourself, right? A lot of sadness, a lot of anxiety. Myself, I have anxiety a lot. But finding therapy and finding someone who can help you, that's where Better Health comes in. Therapy can be a bright spot amid all the stress and change, something to look forward to make you feel grounded and give you the tools to manage everything going forward. The great thing about Better Health is it's completely online. You're designed to be convenient, flexible, suited to your schedule. You just fill out a brief questionnaire, get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. So if you feel like maybe the person you're talking to isn't the right person, they can help you find that right person to help you get your mental health back on track. So find your bright spot this season. This is definitely not the Sharks with Better Health. Visit betterhealth.com/lockedonnhl today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedonnhl. All right, let's continue, guys. Continue the therapy session. Canucks fan here. Yeah, enjoy it. You guys have suffered for a while. You guys have a lot of a lot of talent that just has not gotten a chance to perform. So half full hockey says sad. Yeah, it's sad. JD, the media is digging to the Sharks for not checking on their goalie, the image of the Canucks. It's not a great look when your goalie, but they probably, right? They saw the goal. They probably turned and were heading back to the bench, and it's happening behind them, right? All the Canucks fans are going to celebrate, and they saw like Capo Kakinen is not getting up, right? It's not like after a goal, you're not just hanging around the goalie. Usually you're probably heading. I'm not trying to make excuses. That's just what I'm thinking. Not a good look, though. So for Capo Kakinen, good to see that he came back out onto the bench. So, yeah. Yeah. Idea to raise attendance. One random fan slots on the fourth line every night. I love it. It can't get any worse, right? Yeah. McDonald's skated as a forward tonight. What is Quinn? McDonald's played forward and defense like in his career. He's done it for the Colorado Avalanche. He's done it for the Sharks. He's played both forward and defense. So again, it's playing Mike Hoffman over Mike McDonald or Jacob McDonald in the fourth line. Again, you lost 10-1. So do we lose Couture or Hurdle this season? I don't see either one, especially with Couture. If I had to pick one, it would probably be Couture over Hurdle. I still like Hurdle. He still has 7 years left on his deal with a full no move clause. And he seems very happy in San Jose. I also think Hurdle can still be a piece for you going forward. So that way you're not just running a bunch of children out there. Fingers crossed, Celebrini, with guys like, Will Smith and Phil Beestead. Having an adult in the room like Hurdle, who has kind of taken on a more of a leadership role this year, especially with Couture being out, like having a guy like Hurdle in around, that's fine. Like, you've already paid him, he's going to be there, and like it's fine. Couture, we'll see with the injury. I mean, this just the setbacks and everything. I think a Couture trade would be more likely to happen in the offseason, kind of like how we've seen with Brent Burns and Erik Karlsson, and where he would go to Mike Grier and just say, like, I want a chance to go win a cup. And Mike Grier, I think, would be very happy to try to oblige for that. So let's see. What else? Score predictions for the inevitable loss to the Penguins. Penguins haven't been playing great hockey, so I'm going to say this one's a much closer game. I'm going to go 4-2 Penguins. The Sharks get 2 goals. So that's my score prediction for that one. So let's get a couple more here before we this guy Hitman Hockey Cards really really downer guy here. I'm not going to so, yeah, Smith's a good player. I know that we can let the Michkov Smith, just let it go. It's not going to happen. JD, are you soon to become a new defenseman? I have faith. I am I can do kind of straight line skating. I'm not very good at backwards or turning quickly, so I would be a terrible defenseman. I don't have I got the weight but not the size to play defense. I think of myself as more of a kind of a playmaking center. If I played hockey, that's kind of my style. I'm more trying to get guys the puck in good positions. So yeah. Do you feel Greer signing all these replacement level players to term? Why does every plug need a 2-year deal? You're also telling guys to come play on what's going to be the worst team in the NHL. So you're going to usually have to give them a 2-year deal. But again, it's not like a lot of looking at the Barracuda team, right? Like, which of these Barracuda teams are going to be big time contributors next year? Maybe Gushin. Maybe maybe Mukhamadullin, Thrun. Okay, I've named 3. A lot of these guys, you have to. That's kind of the business of the game, right? Is you have to kind of maybe when you're a bad team, you kind of have to give him a little bit. You got to give it a little bit of that term. And again, most of these guys are here right now because they're holding on a spot for some of these young guys. So. I'll do 1 more or 2 more. The white jerseys. The white jerseys are so good. Should I buy a white or teal musty jersey? A white jersey. I have a white Eklund one. I think they're the white ones, which should be the home ones as God intended. Those white ones are absolutely sweet. So, all right, this is a good one. We'll end here. I'm pretty sure the Sharks alumni could string together a better effort. They could probably at least get 3 points tonight. So, yeah. That's that's my they could probably at least have gotten 3 tonight. So with Patty and Thornton and I could see at least 3 tonight. So that's going to be it for me tonight. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for the therapy session. I think hopefully we helped each other out here a little bit. It is what it is. So we'll be back on Monday where we'll break down the Erik Karlsson return to San Jose. Also have Leon Gavanke who joined the show. So we have that coming up for you guys next week. We'll continue checking out on the prospects and kind of, again, going through this long, strange journey together. So make sure you guys are following along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Thank you guys for the 55 of you guys at one point tonight for hanging out with me. Again, try to do some of these live streams a little bit more frequently, especially when the games go absolutely terrible like this. Because there's nothing else to do than hang out. So again, make sure you guys follow along wherever you get podcasts. You can follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Locked On Sharks. You can follow me on Twitter at MyFryHole. And until next time, bye, friends.